Welcome to our 5-minute Bible study, The School of Prayer. Today, we want to focus on a special kind of prayer, a wonderful type of prayer, what we will call the prayer of contemplation. The prayer of contemplation. Now, in this kind of prayer, you're not coming to God really seeking to ask for anything. Now, those kind of prayers are important, and we will talk about them. But in the prayer of contemplation, it's not what you're asking for. It's just simply seeking to be with God, to contemplate the wonder of His presence, and to be changed by being with Him. The psalmist in Psalm 62 talks about this prayer, this kind of prayer, this contemplative prayer. In the 62nd Psalm, he says, "Truly, my soul waits upon God. I wait upon Him. From Him comes my salvation. My soul waits only upon God, for my expectation is from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved." Now, in this kind of prayer, it's not really so important the words you use, but only that you are in the presence of God. In this kind of prayer, you simply look for that vision, as it were, of God Himself. Some people call this the prayer of silence, or prayer without words. You're simply coming to be with Him, to gaze spiritually at His wonder, to contemplate who He is, and to be transformed. Now, this kind of prayer develops out of a love for God. I just love Him so. I just want to be with Him and gaze upon Him. It comes out of a desire for deeper union with Him, that fellowship that Jesus spoke of. You remember in John 15, Jesus said, I'm the true vine, my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that does not bear fruit, while every branch in me that bears fruit, He prunes so that it will be more fruitful. Now listen to this. Jesus says, "Remain in me as I remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I remain in you, you will bear much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing." The prayer of contemplation is all about that remaining in Jesus, abiding in Him. You're coming simply to be with Him, to abide deeply within, and to bear the fruit that He produces within, the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, those sorts of things. Now, a couple of things about the prayer of contemplation. When you come to this kind of prayer, it's important to be quiet. You want silence. You want stillness. You want to center your heart simply in Him. So in this kind of prayer, you get very quiet. You get very focused. It's not so much what you're going to say. It's just simply centering your soul in Jesus. The old saints used to talk about the importance of centering prayer. And what they meant by that was just being quiet, being still before the Lord, and making sure you're centered in devotion to Him. Also, in this kind of prayer, you want to be very attentive to the movements of God. That is, you want to close your eyes, because what you see might distract you. You want to close your eyes and simply focus on His presence, listening very carefully to what the Spirit might say to you. C.S. Lewis once talked about the wonder of prayer without words. And what he meant was the prayer of contemplation, just simply being attentive to God, listening for His voice, not speaking so much, but listening to Him, feeling the gentle breeze of His Spirit blowing across you. Now, when you find yourself in this kind of prayer, this kind of contemplation of God Himself, you find that your love for Him grows because you're experiencing more of His love for you. And you'll also find in this kind of prayer what the Bible means by the joy of simply being with God. The joy of simply being in His presence. Sometimes the joy is almost indescribable as you simply quiet your soul, center your spirit on Him, be still before Him and contemplate Him, He will fill you with the joy of His presence. The joy of being loved by Him, and the joy that comes from being able to love Him in return. I would encourage you to practice this prayer of contemplation. This time when you simply are silent before the Lord, putting away all distractions, being still, and centering yourself entirely on Him. See what He will do for you in those moments, and listen for how He will speak to you of His great love for your soul. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a great time of prayer today, and I'll look forward to seeing you our next time together for our School of Prayer, this 5-minute Bible study.